Beautiful. I've been called many things, but never an eagle before, and I liked it. It was nice. Wasn't that great? Thank you. Thank you so much. So are you all inspired yet? We've only been here for a few hours, but I'm already sort of feeling the energy of inspiration today, and I'm hoping to continue that. And my talk today is about us as individuals and ordinary people. We work in this wonderful place called the YMCA. And it's a vehicle for us to create change in our communities. And not just in our communities locally, but we are a worldwide movement. And how many places do we work where ordinary people like us can make extraordinary things happen in the lives of other people? So I want to talk to you just a little bit about that. So how many of you believe that one person has the ability to change the world? How many of you believe it? I think most of us do, or else we probably wouldn't be working here, right? And I'm going to show you some of the faces here. We all know who these folks are. They've been instrumental in making things happen in our communities, and they're very high-profile world changers. But what I would also argue is that those of us who are regular people doing this work every day sometimes have the ability to do more than they do. Why do you think that might be? Anybody? Bingo, you get the $5 if I had it. We work in person-to-person relationships, and we change people's lives every single day. So we're not just a figurehead for something happening, we are making things happen. So how many of you know this person? No? Well, you should know her name because she's up there. I hope nobody knows her. Nobody should know her. And I just want to share a story that illustrates the power of what an everyday person can do. So I just want to introduce you to Dorothea. Dorothea, everybody has a Dorothea in their YMCAs. And Dorothea is that person that dedicated her entire life to serving her community and volunteerism. When her kids were younger, she volunteered in the school. She had 8 kids, and she volunteered and did all the things she could. She volunteered with her church. She volunteered with the hospital in which she worked for 60 years in the cafeteria area. And what separates her, though, from sort of your normal volunteer go-getter is her ability to really influence and inspire other people to act as well. So Dorothea was always bringing everybody along with her. She would inspire her coworkers to go help on weekends, her family, and because of that, she really was able to increase her impact by her influence, okay? And so she was that type of person that you didn't say no to her, right? We all know who these people are. When they invite you to do something, you just say yes because Dorothea asked you to do it. Well, I'm lucky enough to have had a lot of wonderful time with Dorothea because Dorothea just happens to be my grandmother, okay? And so the reason why I tell this story is because she really instilled this whole idea of service into her entire family. So in turn, my mother lived her life that way and taught me how to live my life that way. And in that vein, it was part of my DNA to really be about service. In my entire career, I've always seen myself as an activist and not a careerist. I don't care what the job title is, I want to care what I'm going to be able to do in that role. You know, I've worked with the Boys and Girls Club, I worked in the education sector, I work for the Y now, but I really believe that growing up with that ethic of service and how that was instilled in me from way back when, even though I used to whine and complain, Grandma, why do I have to go with you to deliver meals? Grandma, why do I have to shovel for those seniors? Dang, I don't want to, right? As you're growing up, you hear those messages over and over again, and my grandma would always say, you need to be about something. You need to be about something. You can't just sit around here, you need to be about something, right? And here's the kicker about this. So I just took this new job at YUSA. I'm the National Director for Social Responsibility. Sounds cool. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing yet, but it sounds great. But here's the thing, though. I bet my grandmother, who only had a high school education, worked in a cafeteria her entire life, had no idea that how she lived her life could possibly impact millions of people across this country through her granddaughter, who is now doing this job on a national level, right? So if you ever doubt that what you do every day doesn't matter, I'm telling you right now, it's not true, right? And so the question that you're going to ask yourself today after you leave here is not what can my why do, or what should we as the why be doing differently. I want to ask you to ask yourself, what about me? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I not here in this room, but why am I here on this planet? And what am I going to do differently to expand my influence to make things happen within our organization? So are y'all up for that? Yes. It's a big challenge, but we need to do it because what you choose to do and choose not to do matters. It matters greatly. And we are in a wonderful vehicle called the YMCA, which is not a better place for us to make some things happen. So, as I go through, I've been doing lots of research since I got this job around social responsibility trends across the country for for-profits, nonprofits. There was a great study done by Cone Communication. It was done over a 20-year span, and they talked to consumers all over the country about their attitudes around purchasing, social responsibility, and so forth. 93% of the people who responded to that survey said that they had a more positive image of an organization if they believed in a cause and demonstrated that cause. And in fact, 90% of people felt that they were more committed and dedicated to repeating or being part of an organization that has a cause that they're part of, okay? So today I want to share with you just a little bit of sort of statistical and trend information that I think is really relevant to our work in this wonderful vehicle called the YMCA, and I'm going to share 5 things with you that are very specific. So the first thing that this study said is that organizations that do this well, they have this thing that they do called guerrilla or cause marketing, okay? What that means is they do lots of in-your-face things to help everyone understand what their cause is all about. We did this study a long time ago with the Y. What did people think the Y was about? Swim and gym. If I hear that one more time, I'm going to jump out the window, right? Because that's not all we do. But that's what our perception was. So here's an example of what Whole Foods did. Whole Foods is really about sustainability in foods, and that's their cause. They one day took, and this is in Rhode Island, they took 53% of the produce off of their shelves to demonstrate to their customers what would happen if the bee population died off. There's an endangered bee population, right? And they sort of ran this, and then they had people there in the aisles to talk about. People were like, where's the apples, where is everything else? And they did this kind of crazy thing to educate their consumers about what they believed is important. So I would challenge you, what are the things in our why that we need people to know about? Why is childhood obesity important, and how can we make sure people see that? Why is the education gap important, and how can we make sure people see that? Okay, this is a good lesson for us. Here's number 2. Add cart for good. I'm sure many of you have seen this before. You've worked with, how many of you have owned those Tom's shoes? Any of you? Every time you buy a pair of Tom's shoes, what happens? They give a pair to a child that needs one. So every time you buy one, you're doing something good, right? Have you ever heard that with Target and Amazon Smile, where you can sign up with them and you pick one of the charities that they have there, and then a small percentage of your purchase goes to that charity? You guys know what I'm talking about? So here's the thing that disturbed me. I'm a frequent shopper at Amazon. I'm a frequent shopper at Target. When I went in to choose my charity, was the Y on the list? No, they weren't. So from a partnership perspective, this is important for us to think about, but also from our perspective, it's important to think about. The haircut place that I go to, for a week in the fall, they do this thing where if you come in and get a haircut, they'll give another kid a haircut in the community that needs one, right? So we also run a business. We have a business side. How can we be leveraging our business side to also be socially responsible? So how can we partner to get on some of these lists, but how can we also do the same thing with our business side? Make sense? Third one, brick and mortar gets a makeover. Social responsibility is also about the environment. We are a part of this world that is, you know, if you haven't seen the crazy weather, we can't deny, folks, that we're not doing something right to take care of our world. And so we build new buildings all the time. We refurbish new buildings all the time within the YMCA. Are we keeping our socially responsible lens on as far as the environment is concerned? It's a little hard to see, but this picture is a prototype store that Nike built. And it was built 100% recycled materials. And they even went as far to not use glue in the production of this building so that when the life cycle is over, it will be easily recycled again, right? So how are we playing in that market? And I've been in Ys in Austin, Texas, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On my local Y in Baltimore just built a brand new building. Green buildings. It can be done affordably, and it's part of our social responsibility. And it's not always easy. Our CEO, I was just with him in Baltimore the other day, and this beautiful Y they built never has enough parking spots, and I'm a member there. So I can talk to him. I'm like, hey, when are you going to get some more parking spots? I said to him, and I was just joking. And they have this whole row of about 12 parking spots that are for cars that plug in, that are electric cars. And regular cars are not allowed to park there. And so usually they're not all full, obviously. And the members are so angry, and they come into his office just blazing, like, can't we just park there, and da-da-da-da, and they throw this fit. But he uses that to educate them about what a green building is, what our responsibility is to the environment, and why we need to have that. And he'll smile at them and say, well, go ahead and go get your hybrid, and you got the VIP parking too. And he'll explain to them what that's all about. And he told me, Emily, we're going to build some parking. We got it in the plan, but I'm not going to budge on this because this is part of what we stand for. And you know, my boss always says, you'll meet him later, he says, just because it's not the easy thing to do doesn't mean we shouldn't do it, right? So, it's better together. Partnerships. Who knows who Angela Davis is? Civil rights activist Angela Davis. She always talks about this idea of unlikely coalitions, right? And so this is an example of an unlikely coalition. The cause was texting and driving, big problem. You've got your big competitors in the cell phone market that decided they were going to throw away their competitive hats, get together and move forward in this cause because it was important, right? So what I would challenge you is to think about who are your unlikely coalitions in your environment that will help you to really further this work. We spend a lot of time fighting and competing with people when really if we work together we can move forward with what's important, okay? And I know we all have examples of that. And then the last one, and if we can get the video to come up here, and I think this one is really crucial to YMCAs. They talked about having viral storytelling. And you guys have all seen, we all do our YouTube things or Facebook where you watch the funny videos and it's been viewed 1 million times, or you watch the heartfelt videos that have been viewed 1 million times. I'm just going to show a few seconds of this one. And you can just go ahead and play it just for a few seconds. Chipotle, if anyone knows the story of Chipotle, they were a great company with fresh ingredients, sold out to the McDonald's Corporation. And what happened when they sold out? What happened to their fresh ingredients? It went to processed yuck. And the guy who founded it, and if you can just turn the sound down for me on that, we don't need the sound. But the guy who founded it said, you know what, that's not okay with me. And he worked hard and he bought his business back. And since then, Chipotle has been on this mission to sort of combat large farms that, you know, just process everything to combat genetically modified things. And they produced this video called the Scarecrow, and we're not going to watch the whole thing, but I just want to give you a sense of it. 8 million views within the first day because it is so compelling. You know, Dove did another ad about beauty and everybody's beautiful. That's another one. Several millions of views in the first day. A lot of times at YUSA, we say, well, how do we stop our wives from being the best kept secret in our organizations? Because sometimes we feel like we're the best kept secret in those communities. We have to communicate with the public so that they understand what we stand for. It is critical and crucial. And so this is an opportunity that all of us can take. How are you sharing the wonderful things that you're doing? Do you have some videos? Do you have some testimonials? Do you have things that allow you to tell your story? Okay? So I'm going to need my volunteers that I asked for. This is the volunteer portion. So I have 5 people that are going to help me for a minute. But the last thing I want to share about this data is that they came to 5 very specific conclusions with this data that I think is also relevant for us. And you see up there, it's not just about being about something, because the Y has been about something for 170 years now. It's about demonstrating that we're actually doing something in our community and having the community understand that. So my 5 volunteers, come on up, that I asked you to help me. These 5 items that they're going to read for you are extremely important, so I wrote them down. I didn't want to paraphrase and lose the effectiveness of them. So I'm just going to ask my volunteers 1 through 5 to just read them for you, because I believe they're critically important. Whoever has number 1. Yep, just step right up. Thank you.
Turn your stakeholders into partners by making their participation urgent and necessary.
Making their participation urgent and necessary. We cannot do it by ourselves.
Integrate social impact within your organization's business and strategic efforts to maximize potential for impact.
If it's not in your strategic plan, is it going to get done? If it's not in the plan for your branch, is it going to get done? If it's not in your personal goals, is it going to get done? You guys got the point. I don't have to keep going, do I? All right, thank you.
Seek out new opportunities to innovate and accelerate solutions.
Yeah, so 2 words in there that are important. Innovation. This conference is about thinking outside the box around social responsibility. What are you going to go back and do differently that's never been done before for social impact? And do it quickly was the other thing that Hetty read. Thanks.
Explore new communication channels to broaden reach and appeal.
Yeah, so that's what that last one talked about. Are we telling our story, or are we the best kept secret? Thanks, Dan.
Provide ongoing, transparent proof of individual and collective impact.
Yeah, and that's that last one. So we have to show what we're doing is working. We have to show what we're doing is making an impact. So with my last couple of minutes here, I just want to quickly share the new program, the new signature program for social responsibility that YUSA is rolling out. And we believe that this is going to be an opportunity for us nationally to really show our collective impact around social responsibility. We got Karen coming up a little later, so I'm just going to give you a quick preview. She's going to share her experience with this, but it's called Togetherhood. Join us in giving back. It's member-led community service. So the idea is this. You look at your membership base, you find some people in that membership base that are leaders, you invite them to the table in a small group to plan a year of service for your YMCA. You help them get connected to what they're passionate about, what they care about, and they decide what the projects are going to be based on what they love to do. They plan 4 activities that are outward facing that serve the community. The fidelity marker here is we cannot bring this group together to go help our kids in childcare or paint our fence. This is about us being out in the community and making things happen from that level. And because of that, those members then, we will extend their hearts and their hands and their minds to create amazing community impact. 3 fidelity markers. 1, the members lead the projects, the staff don't. And it's hard for us to step back, but we are not project managing. This is not our time. It's their time to lead, right? So we need to let them step up. Fidelity marker number 2, outward-facing projects, not inward. It has to be community-focused. And fidelity marker number 3 is that the team needs to use the toolkit, the wonderful toolkit that YUSA has put together that helps them from start to finish know how to run this program. Part of the fidelity marker number 3 is this whole idea of having a wonderful dashboard to show what we're doing. And this is just a little, it's hard to see, I know, in the back, but it just tells you sort of the structure of the program. The Y staff recruit the volunteers. They work together to plan the year of service, at least 4 projects. They plan and run them, and then we celebrate and report. And part of the reporting is every project is going to roll up into a national dashboard. So everywhere across the country, our volunteer count will tick up on a ticker, and there will be stars in every community that has run a project that will show up on this map, and people can come in and really see what our collective impact in the community is. And the cool part is, folks, it's not done by us as the staff, it's done by volunteers. So this shows our cause being lived out through our volunteers, which I think is pretty powerful. So here's that idea. You've got that one person. Engage their hearts and minds. They get together with other people. They impact their communities. They impact our nation. And I'm a dreamer, so I think they're going to impact our world too, right? So this movement, this collective movement is really important. And there's 250, give or take, staff in this country working toward this effort. Just imagine if we mobilized 1 million volunteers and those hearts and hands to do this work, what kind of additional impact we're going to have that we're not able to have today based on that. So, lastly, just a little bit about the why. Who's the guy in the picture? George Williams, GW, I like to call him. He's our founder. And when you think about a group of volunteers way back when that founded the YMCA, their vision, or his vision, was not really to have an organization full of a bunch of staff inside buildings doing things, right? That's not what he thought about. He thought about, let's bring volunteers together and really make things happen across the world. And at that time, it was bringing people to Christianity and helping them to feel that and serving the needs of the community. So this project takes us back to our history and why George Williams said that the YMCA is an important place. The other thing it will do is help transform your membership. Imagine a day where a member comes in, a prospective member, and you say, well, you know, here's all the wonderful things we do. You give them the tour, and you say, by the way, we're a cause-driven organization. And as part of this, we will invite you periodically throughout the year to serve with us out in the community through projects. They'll be optional. You can opt into the ones that you care about and skip the ones that you don't. But we really feel it's important for all of our members here to be part of this community effort and to change our communities in a positive way. And lastly, we do believe that it's going to come back to your why in many ways. Engagement of volunteers helps people to feel more connected. It will help your members stay connected to your why and tell other people and bring more people in. And guess what, folks? When it's time for annual support campaign time, if people are more connected to you, what do? Yeah. So we know that there's great individual power in volunteerism for the people involved. We know that there's great impact that will happen in those communities that are served, but we also know that this will be a good thing for your YMCA as well. So the last thing that I have is just an invite for you. We are doing this rollout with 120 Ys this year. 60 are going now. And I'm actually right now looking for 60 small to mid-sized Ys that would like to sign on for us for the second half of the year. We'll be opening up an Easy Grants process in March. If you are interested in this project and you want to sign on, you just give me your business card and I'll add you to the mailing list. And then we can get you signed up and get you going. I would love to see more than 60. I'll try to take as many of you as I can, and I'm very excited. So that is my time, but I just want to thank all of you for being here. I want you to ponder the question when you leave here, what are you going to do differently because of your time spent here? So I thank you. I look forward to working with all of you. This is not going to be the last time that you will see me. I hope to be able to be well connected with this event and all of you. So thank you for your time.